Chapter 315. The Sun Temple, the Fire Temple, and the Wind Temple. Then Funga Helen, having previously divided the 1,000 hard penitents in the army, had the whole army reassemble and prepare to march on. When, in the course of a day and a night, the whole army had reassembled and prepared to march, Funga Helen had them set out against the Temple of the Sun, which conquest and destruction, however, offered nothing memorable, since its priests immediately surrendered, and even collaborated in the destruction of this temple themselves. They only asked for the large concave mirror for other scientific purposes, which they had become acquainted with in the course of the 10 years of existence during sacrificial services, which Funga Helen gladly granted them, as he himself was a great friend of all kinds of arts and sciences. After a 3-day stay, which the army needed to rest, and the general used for coinage of the looted gold and silver, the army moved out again, and according to the orders of the general, marched towards the temple of the fire god, which conquest and destruction was of course somewhat more problematic, since its priesthood had greatly increased and spread in all directions. Because nearby any fire-spitting mountain, a sub-temple of this god was built where, during festivals, the fire arts were produced in exchange for rich sacrifices. And as such, the destruction of this temple, with all its extensions, took longer and was at various points subjected to different degrees of difficulties than the former. In all, it lasted for almost 40 days, and was accomplished mostly without bloodshed, except for a single sub-temple, which was built on a steep cliff, to which its priests stubbornly held on to because of their superior position, and thus did not want to listen to the demand to surrender. Here the large rock was from all sides undermined and blown up, which of course cost all the stubborn priests their lives. After the destruction of this temple, and after finishing the gold and silver coinage, which here amounted to more than 2 million pounds, and which required 2,000 camels to transport, the army got ready to march towards the temple of the wind god, which, however, caused Funga quite some daunting obstacles until it could be conquered. For firstly, the priests had always kept the lake fully swollen through gigantic sluices on its 4 drainage points. If something hostile approached from one or the other side, the floodgates were opened, and a huge mass of water rushed furiously over the enemies on every possible access point to this temple. And secondly, the priests were also fully knowledgeable about all electrical manipulations, by which means their area was made almost inaccessible. And so it took Funga Helen half a year's work until he was able to seize this temple. After the destruction of this temple, the army moved towards the temple of the water god. Next, more about the conquest of this temple.